Doing a hog this morning. I've had a couple of people ask me things. So he was dispatched probably 20-30 minutes ago. I took him onto our gambrel on our skinning derrick, hung him up there off the winch, took the head off, took the front feet off. Those are saved. The head's over there on the table behind the post. The trotters are down here. Those will get scalded and prepped individually because I'm going to skin him. So if you see my little skinning cradle, it is pretty simple. We got dispatched with a 22 long rifle 410 over under from forever ago. Safety, safety, safety. When you start doing your cuts, the only thing you want to do is when you come in here to cut him, you are going for that carotid artery that sits, I've got some grass in there, that sits along this atlas bone, I think is what it's called. But you're going for that carotid artery. You can actually see right here where I nicked that with my knife coming in. So I just put my knife in behind his ear, brought my knife straight down with the tip of it riding along that spinal bone, and then coming just a little bit further in here to make sure that I got those arteries and everything all severed so that way I could get him bleeding out. All right, I'll take some pictures of skinning. We're basically going to be doing the bearded butcher style that they do, or most hog processors. I'm going to take a chain, tie it to the base of that post, get the back feet and the belly skinned off, and then I will use our hoist to lift them up and pull skin off. Here we are doing all the sausage. We ended up with something close to about 100 pounds, or no, 75, 80 pounds. A lot of trim out of about 600 pounds of live pig. I do this is a 1 horsepower grinder. I do twice through the coarse plate, and then depending on what I'm doing, if I'm getting set up to do, we just did a jalapeno cheddar sausage that we absolutely love. We actually go 2.5 times through the plate. That way I can get a nice creamy sausage. When I mix all my cheese and everything in there, it emulsifies and sticks together like a casing. But yeah, as I'm trimming out pigs, it all goes into the lug, and then the lug goes into the freezer so we can get that nice semi-frozen meat. Goes through the grinder nice, keeps everything cold, keeps everything bacteria built up in it. That is your danger with pork, is bacteria build up from warm meat. So we went once through the coarse plate. This is our unseasoned pork sausage. So this will go back into this lug. I will remix it, just kind of doing this. Why we use the big equipment. We're gonna do multiple pigs, spend the money on a nice big couple of lugs and totes, and then I'm just gonna take my hands like this. It's gonna kind of claw my way through it. And your hands should be cold. You want this stuff cold, 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 cold. Most of this was still almost frozen when it went through. You don't want to be rummaging around in here with warm sausage. Not only will it not grind correctly, you can get bacteria build up, and then you end up with rancid meat, and it's just a bad thing. Cold, 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 cold. That's what you have to remember. Now, nice thing about these lugs is if this was a little warmer than I wanted it, and my fats were starting to, sorry, I got a piece of fat here. My fat is starting to smear. How when I squeeze this, it stays together. It's because it's so cold. When it gets warm, it'll actually, see as I'm warming it up with my fingers, see how it's smearing across my glove? That is not what you want. You want it to stay nice and firm and together. You don't want your fat to smear. If you have smearing fat, it won't go through the grinder, and it's your best indicator that it's too warm. If it's too warm, take the whole tote, put it out in the chest freezer. And now for the grand reveal of what 1 year of for-profit farming means when you keep some back for yourselves. So we have, let's start with this, poultry, Thanksgiving turkey, a whole bunch of frozen chickens, a whole bunch of chicken and turkey cuts, pig head, probably about 30 to 50 pounds of bacon, a whole lot of soup bones. And we have sausages, linked sausages. So much linked sausages. This is a 100-pound tote, folks. So I don't even know how many gallons that is. I think it's like something like 10, 15 gallons. It's a lot. A lot. We have a bunch of turkey legs. And then roasts. My wife really, really likes the pork roast because you can pull one out, you can throw it on the thing, and it's done. And we also do a lot of soup bones. So, with the 2 pigs that we kept for ourselves, we made sausages, roasts, a bucket of roasts. That is all pork roasts. Boston butts, picnics, blade roasts, just random chunks of meat or a nice piece of muscle that I figured I would make into a roast. Ribs. So we have our family's 1 year of food sitting there. And that is what we will eat for next year. We might buy a little bit of pork, or sorry, not pork. Definitely not gonna buy pork. We will probably buy a little bit of beef, but for the most part, this is what we're gonna eat next year.